There's a lot of devil monkey stories around. I've heard of the Danville one. That could just be like an escaped monkey kind of thing, as Loren Coleman would say, the kind of the out-of-place animals category.
Devil monkeys are said to be devilish creatures with long fangs and glowing eyes. They're described as being between 3 and 8 feet long with baboon or dog-like snouts. They can run on all fours or 2 legs. They have dark brown hairy backs and bushy tails. These ferocious primates have been reported to attack humans and kill livestock and pets. Reports of devil monkeys have long come from all over the eastern United States.
One of the devil monkey legends is from right here in Danville, New Hampshire. A gripping tale starts in late August 2001 when Fire Chief David Kimell saw a baboon-like creature run alongside his truck on Kingston Road.
It's one of those towns that's not on a main road, so it's kept its quiet, classic colonial charm.
Legend has it that after a report of an 8-foot monkey was sighted on Kingston Road by the town's fire chief, rumblings and stories of the elusive beast quickly spread. The locals began to confess witnessing strange events, having bone-chilling encounters, and hearing blood-curdling noises that pierced the night. The hysterical townfolk locked their doors and formed posses to hunt the fearsome critter. Town officials seeking help were on standby at a network TV studio, and just before they were about to go live, the first of 2 planes that morning suddenly crashed into the World Trade Center towers. Since no one was paying attention, the Danville Devil monkey escaped to the town forest, where it haunts the woods to this very day.
Yeah, that monkey, whether it was something that just didn't belong here or something that was from another dimension.
Devil monkeys are said to be devilish creatures with long fangs and glowing eyes. They're described as being between 3 and 8 feet long with baboon or dog-like snouts. They can run on all fours or 2 legs. They have dark brown hairy backs and bushy tails. These ferocious primates have been reported to attack humans and kill livestock and pets. Reports of devil monkeys have long come from all over the eastern United States. In 1973, Loren Coleman investigated reports of slaughtered livestock in Albany, Kentucky, and said that witnesses seemed to be sincere about seeing monkey-like creatures with tails. An anonymous witness reported in 2006 that when they returned to their Chicago home, they found a devilish creature savagely attacking the family dog. The man reported the devil-like beast had glowing eyes and sprang up when he tried to take a picture. He described it as monkey-like with a devilish dog face. He said he knew of one other person seeing it hang from a tree and that his neighborhood was plagued by missing pets.
One of the devil monkey legends is from right here in Danville, New Hampshire. Our gripping tale starts in late August 2001 when Fire Chief David Kimell saw a baboon-like creature jump alongside his truck on Kingston Road.
I lived in neighboring East Hampstead at the time, so I definitely remember the buzz around town.
Danville, New Hampshire is nestled within southeastern New Hampshire in Rockingham County. It's one of those towns that's not on a main road, so it's kept its quiet, classic colonial charm, as you can see right here in this neighborhood and some of these old buildings. It's historical, old farmland, old stone walls. It's gorgeous. It stayed that way because it's not on a main road, so it's kind of nestled in a pocket where it's able to keep. There's a few other towns like this. Fremont and Nottingham are the same way. They've changed little over the years.
Legend has it that after a report of an 8-foot monkey was sighted on Kingston Road by the town's fire chief, rumblings and stories of the elusive beast quickly spread. The locals began to confess witnessing strange events, having bone-chilling encounters, and hearing blood-curdling noises that pierced the night.
The legend of the Danville Devil monkey didn't happen till probably the 2000 teens.
These unexplained reports became so frequent that the story was picked up and followed by local radio and news outlets.
One of the stories that had been published at the time that it happened that I read was Kimell did identify a species with what he saw, and that was the Humboldt's woolly monkey.
In late August of 2001, Fire Chief David Kimell said what he saw was a ape-like creature, a monkey of sorts, jump out of the wood line, run along his truck, and dart back into the woods.
Startled by what he saw, he immediately went to the public library to look for resources to help identify it.
On August 21st, 2001, there were actually 2 sightings of a primate by Fire Chief David Kimell. According to locals we met at the Webster Stagecoach Stop and General Store, he first saw it hanging in a tree along Pleasant Street, and then it jumped down and ran alongside his truck for a few strides on Kingston Road before it darted into the woods. Now, Chief immediately knew that it was not native to Danville's woods, so he headed down to the town library where Dottie the librarian helped him with resources and finding other information. Off camera, we got a chance to talk with Dottie, and we asked her about his demeanor. She told us he was rather calm. Although she didn't give us much more detail, we know from earlier reports that she spent about 3 hours with him, helping him find resource books and making photocopies. After some deliberation, they determined that it was a Humboldt's woolly monkey, an exotic species found in equatorial South America.
News and police were alerted, and other reports of sightings of the monkey came in the town as well. The story is that he reported to be 8 feet tall. That's a big monkey.
It's rare for a human to grow to 8 feet tall, so it's been a common understanding that no monkeys are 8 feet tall. In fact, no known apes are 8 feet tall.
There's some guesses that maybe the length of the animal he saw is partially due to the length of the tail, and he may have been kind of, not confusing, but equating the length of the entirety of the animal. When you say 8-foot monkey, do you mean a 4-foot body with a 4-foot tail, or do you mean 8-foot monkey with a 4-foot tail? What do you mean?
Because there's no monkeys or known apes that are 8 feet tall.
Of course, and there's none in New Hampshire if there was.
So the idea of an 8-foot monkey running through the streets of Danville didn't seem realistic, so the story got a lot of attention.
Being reported as an 8-foot monkey, it made the news. Radio stations were goofing on it, sending DJs in gorilla costumes. All kinds of theories came out, whether it was a cryptid, whether it was a monkey on the loose. The story kind of grew to the point where it was going to make national morning news, or the morning shows. 2 planes hit the World Trade Centers on 9/11, so that kind of ended the story of the devil monkey.
The concern was that it was a pet that nobody was willing to claim, so it was imperative to find it before the temperatures dropped.
I think there would have been a lot more investigation around it if it had not had its attention so quickly. I mean, within the same year, just cut off, obviously.
Yeah. Even after the tragic events of 9/11, there were people trying to save the vulnerable simian.
Jason Schreiber from the Union Leader followed with the story as researchers, animal rescue teams were trying to find an elusive monkey before it died in this cold, harsh New England climate.
We're here at the Danville Town Forest, and this is the time of year where that devil monkey would have been on the loose, ripping through these woods. And this is where everybody says they hear screams. There's some crazy stuff going on. So we're going to get in here, kind of check it out a little bit. It is really a gloomy day, but that adds to the creep factor, right? It's seasons are turning. It's definitely getting cooler and damper. And yeah, that monkey, whether it was something that just didn't belong here or something that was from another dimension.
These are some of the same rock conditions the monkey would have had to compete with for survival. And if it didn't belong here, it had no clue that its days were numbered.
It's interesting. Sometimes I've heard those things called OOPS, out of place species, which is the best acronym of all time, obviously. Sometimes it's a creature that gets away it's a creature that doesn't belong in that area, right? Sometimes it gets away from something else. Sometimes maybe it sets up shop, right? There's always invasive species. A good example of what you just talked about is Peninsula, Ohio. Peninsula, Ohio every year celebrates Python Days because in the 70s, maybe it was 50s or 70s, a python started terrorizing the town. They don't know where it came from, escaped pet, circus, giant python, scaring people. They couldn't catch it. They kept waiting for it to eat the wintertime, so hopefully it would just die. Wintertime came, they couldn't find it. So to this day, half a century, 75 years later, every Python Day, they start wrapping snakes. It's almost like garland to them. They wrap snakes around their banisters and their mantelpieces. They have a parade of pythons. So that's an example of something that became not really a legend, right? Because they didn't turn this python into something fantastical. It didn't become a different creature. It's still just a python. That's a creature that actually exists. But they turned it into a symbol of the town somehow, either because it's funny, for whatever reason. So there's a lot of emotions that go into that. It could be people just find delight. Again, you just told me that story the first time I found it's a funny story. It's like, oh, a monkey running through the woods in New Hampshire and everybody trying to find it, and august, first responders getting interviewed about monkeys. It's like delightful to me, right? So I think that's part of it, right? It's a bit of whimsy in it, and again, a bit of wonder as well. So I think that's part of it, because for you to like throw a party around it, become an identity or a opportunity to celebrate, you kind of don't have to, you kind of can't take it seriously, right? There's a difference between a church celebration and a Halloween celebration, right? One is sacred, they have to be a little more august. The other is just a party, right? So these things that turn into like Mothman festivals, yeah, especially when there's like civic leaders involved and officiating it, they're having fun with it. I think that's the important part. That's what turns it into something bigger than it was. Because otherwise, it's easy to just write off as, you can tell that story in a way where it's boring, right? Oh, a monkey was found in the woods of New Hampshire and got away. At the end, right? And it's a boring story. But if you see the whimsy in it, that's what makes it bigger and bigger and bigger. I'll tell you what doesn't turn it into something bigger is somebody, the other side of that is somebody being super serious about it, right? Being like, no, that's a devil monkey. That's literally a supernatural creature. I'm going to study it. I'm going to become that guy, right? I'm going to study it until my hair gets long, until I lose my family, right? That doesn't turn into anything when somebody does that. It's when somebody says, that's awesome. Glad that happened. How can we continue that spirit, right? So I think that's how it turns into something bigger.
It doesn't mean the story stopped for us. I mean,
yeah,
kind
no.
of going around.
I consider the story still very open-ended. I don't think that we, especially since Kimell has passed away at this point, I don't think we'll ever really figure out what happened.
Although the monkey or carcass was never found, reports and sightings did carry on throughout the years in Danville. In 2012, a Haverhill, Mass. Resident, while visiting her parents, called the police and reported seeing a monkey climb up a tree. She said it had a white bottom and dark fur, and it walked up the tree like a human. According to a story from Jason Schreiber for the Manchester Union Leader, the officer on duty had passed it off as a raccoon or a porcupine. But Michelle Andino was convinced that she saw a monkey, and that she had never heard about the story from 2001. In 2016, near Walpole, New Hampshire and Bellows Falls, Vermont, police regret making a Facebook post about the possibility of a monkey running loose after reports of a sighting on Route 21. They later deleted it.
A lot of these people will take these primates in as a baby. Then as they get older, they get harder to handle. So that may be we're just going to dump it off here and let it be.
Right, and let Mother Nature take care of it. When somebody who's lived here their whole life sees something a little different than they're used to, it could cause and trigger a hysteria. And likely that's what Danville was. It was a misidentification of an out-of-place species, and because there was no scientific evidence to fill any of the holes, folklore and legend and the supernatural and superstition and all that stuff came to play.
Devil monkey sightings are not new to New Hampshire, but usually end up just being monkeys on the loose. In 2009, a macaque escaped from an enclosure at Charming Fair Farm in Candia. When a worker left 2 doors unlocked, the worker was bitten on his calf when trying to recapture the animal.
He did have one that he had taken in on rescue, and he has now been placed in an actual primate sanctuary that he is with.
Do you know about that story?
I do not have any history. I don't have, other than I know that he was here as a rescue, and I know that they were able to locate him a home so that he was in a safe zone with others of his kind.
Do you know how long he was on the loose?
I don't know. I think it was moments. I don't think it was it was a long thing.
Because there's other stories of monkeys in southern New Hampshire, and they're still unsolved from 2001, 2012. And around New England. So one of the interesting stories, and we happened to come here, and I had to ask.
No.
So.
Junior was, I think, out for a very short run, and he is in a very happy place right now.